Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Special thanks to our sponsors of The Experience Live with Russ and Scott, Realistic Replicas by Brian. For more information, go to realistic.replicas.com. And the Aging Better Network with Christine Smith. For more information, go to agingbetternetwork.com. And now your host, Russ and Scott.
And that's us.
Woo! I barely made it back. That intro was going and I was running. It was good. But hey, everybody, welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. We are here every Wednesday for your listening and viewing pleasure at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And before that, we just came off of The Experience Backstage, live with Russ, Scott, and Shree and today Janaid was with us on Instagram only, having so much fun getting ready for this show. And Scott, always a pleasure to be with you, my friend.
It's so much fun, Russ. I'm glad that we get to do this every Wednesday. And we just finished episode 4 of The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott, which is a 30-minute show. And it is exactly 30 minutes because the audio replays that night, Monday night, on 790 KWIL AM radio. And so it's been a blast.
It was, and I was busy listening on the radio. It was great. And first time I'd actually heard the broadcast on the radio. And wow, I was really pleased that the quality that we're putting off here live streaming translates really nicely to the radio. It's really been a lot of fun. That Believers in Business focus and the local business focus has just been a huge hit in our area. And we just want to encourage everybody out there with that show to remember we're in this global network, but don't forget your local businesses and people that are around you, right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors here for The Experience Live with Russ and Scott here. We're starting our 4th year. Hard to believe.
Oh my goodness.
Let me give a special shout out to Realistic Replicas. Definitely go to this website, take a look at the quality of these fish that he's put out. Just beautiful art. So if you have that person that is hard to buy for a gift, maybe a father or maybe yourself, definitely, absolutely check them out. Realistic Replicas.
Well, and it's interesting you brought that up because I was going to do a special shout out for our special sponsor today. We're Local, and they are, speaking of The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott, We're Local is connecting you to local people and local businesses. That's what they're all about. And I just am thankful that they are a part of the show today. And you can go to we'relocal.io and for information on them. They are amazing. And again, this is how you spell it. And they are an amazing new sponsor. So thanks for bringing that up. And of course, Christine Smith, that you know just a little bit with the Aging Better Network.
Absolutely. 9 a.m. on Wednesday mornings, Pacific time, noon Central or noon Eastern time. And aspects of aging, it's unscripted conversations with experts on aging every week. Christine brings in some remarkable brains. They have just an open conversation. There's so much information and resources that are shared. Definitely for ourselves, for those who are caring for family members, everyone is impacted by aging. Definitely, agingbetternetwork.com and go to the live stream there. You'll be able to look at the live show today, plus an archive of every show that is aired.
That is so amazing. And, we couldn't do it without them. With all these sponsors, we're so thankful for them. And just want to remind you that Scott and I love to connect with you guys, and you can connect with us at russedge.com and dscottsmith.com. That will be ticking along the bottom, along with our guests, how to connect with them on LinkedIn. And there it is right there ticking as we speak. Also wanted to remind you, please join us in our YouTube page. And the way you do that is by going to the experience.video. And also we have a new page launching, which is local.theexperience.video, that you can get all of our information on. So those two are both.
That little book right behind Russ that says Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. You can get that book there, as well as Business Networking, my book. You can find our YouTube channels, LinkedIn, everything, local.theexperience.video. It's a great site right there.
I'm busy trying to catch up with Scott, as I have released 4 collaborative books. One of our guests today, Mike, in fact, was with me on one of my latest books, Beyond Boundaries. And so we're so happy to have him on today. Mike with the Hound. Yeah. Leo, who is going to be with us today. I'm excited really for both of them because, the guests we have on here, Scott, are so remarkable and just make me excited.
So let's get to it. Let's bring in the talent.
All right. Well, we're going to bring in Mike first this morning because you know what? Mike and I have been friends from afar for quite a while, but man, just recently we've been able to spend some more time together. Here he comes, Mr. Mike Ashabraner. How's it going, Mike?
All the time. That's how it's going, brother. I'm blessed to be here. Happy guy, man. How are you?
Doing so good. I'm just thankful for you, my friend, and all the amazing things you do, being able to hang out with the hounds. And I've been out of town the last couple weeks, and unfortunately going to be out of town tomorrow. May not be able to make it, but it has been so much fun with all the amazing people that are there. Give us a little snapshot. Who is Mike and what are you up to?
Oh, gosh. Well, Mike is what you see is what you get, man. At the grocery store, at business, same guy everywhere. And that wasn't always the case. So I'm the proud founder and leader of the Hounds of Business community. Love having you guys with us. And that happened accidentally. So long story short, when COVID hit, I couldn't go out and play anymore. And so I did what I was about 38 years old, finally getting traction in life, having fun, building my business, and COVID hit. They said I couldn't go out and play. And so I went to social media, pitch slap with a P and spam people for about a year and a half. And so I do have hair. This hairline is sales navigator and pitch slapping. And this one is my kids. So that's where my hairline went. And, just putting myself out there, having courage before confidence. And long story short, I knew that somehow, Russ, if I could get people to know, like, and trust me, if they got to see who I was, they would know, like, and trust me. And then I provide the best, experience and solution that's available. And that's how I accidentally built the Hounds. It's kind of like when Zuckerberg said he made, when they joked about how he made Facebook so he could have some friends. That's exactly how the Hounds came about. And today, we were a group of friendship people, and now we're a group of business people who collaborate, make friendships. So that's the long story short. We're heart-centered, high-level professionals coming together to make unseen things happen. So if you're already good, we'll make it better. If you're just starting off, you're not alone, man.
And let me just say, Mike,
that's pretty good.
The Hounds of Business is one of the most loyal groups of most loyal community members that I have seen out there, supporting each other, coming on and making comments on people's posts, tuning in and making comments and joining them on their live shows and so forth, listening to their podcasts, sharing them out. It's just an unbelievable community that you've built, and just a testament to that, being who you are.
Yeah, go for it, Mike. Keep going.
That's it. No man or woman's an island, Scott. And that's, I was well aware of what I didn't know, right? All I knew that if I could get around the right type of people, right? People who have goals and dreams. They care about the people first. They put other people's best interests at heart. That we couldn't lose, and that's what happened. We were trying to figure things out and struggle, but we put each other first. And it wasn't, in reciprocity. It's not a pipe dream. It's profitable. We figured out a formula to make sure. Here's how it goes, and you'll love this. Instead of waking up every day to figure out how I can get what I want, how to advance my goal and mission, what we do, systematic, scientifically proven, is that we go out there and help folks like Russ get what he wants. And get this, no shocker to you guys. All right, good people reciprocate. How about that? It's like when I rattle the bag of treats and the dog comes running, right? It's not that I'm expecting it. It's not about manipulation, none of that. It's creating the ecosystem where we can nurture our relationships, know, like, and trust each other, and it proved it. Huge deal was made 2 weeks ago in business, huge, to the millions. And I did it by focusing on this person. And then I had 4 people come to me and say, I'd like to talk to you. Well, where's the sales pitch in that, Russ? That's because I brought value and I got to know people. I gave them first the right people. And that's the compound snowball effect that the Hounds has. Now everybody else is sharing their crayons and looking out for each other. And it's profitable and it's fun, and dadgummit, that's what we're about. And that's why you're a perfect fit, my friend, because you care about people.
Yeah, I am so blessed and honored to be a part of the Hounds now. And I was having a great chat. Something you just said to spark this in me. I was having a great chat with Lisa Marie, and she was personally mentored by Jim Rome, who says, you are the average of the 5 people closest to you, who said, and that is so true. The environment you get around, the people you get around, just like you talked, Mike, when COVID hit, I needed people and I was stuck, and I could only hug my beautiful wife and my daughter so many times. And the dog got tired of going on walks with me. I needed other people around. So that's what I did too, was launch out on live streaming video and community, right? Building community, which I had always done in person, but now I was doing virtually. Part of that was the global tea break started by my good friend D. Scott Smith and Alan Hennessy, and met a good friend, Mr. Leo York, who is our next guest on the show. Let's welcome Leo. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Leo.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
You bet. It is so great to have you here, Leo. You are doing amazing things. Give us a little snapshot. Who is Leo and what are you up to?
Thanks. I wear 3 hats. I'm co-host of a paranormal conspiracy podcast, The 13th Floor. We're coming back from hiatus very soon, and you guys are actually the first folks I've told about this. Is the first episode we're dropping after hiatus is cryptids of the East. So we're going to talk about cryptids found in Southeast Asia, Kappa and Jiangshi, like hopping vampires, stuff like that. And it's funny that you were also talking about just the isolation from COVID and the things we need, because one of the other hats I wear is I'm a copywriter. And as far as I know, I'm the only copywriter who uses evolutionary behavior when they craft copy. And when I talk about making content that resonates with people, I actually keep various molecules, neurotransmitters, and oxytocin is kind of the big one for socializing. It's called the love hormone. And when you don't have enough of it because you're not socializing enough and engaging people enough, it causes problems. So it's funny that you were touching on that, and I just happened within arm's reach to have that. Also got dopamine and serotonin and adrenaline. But and then the third hat that I wear is I'm VP of a nonprofit called Inventors Network Kentucky, and we help inventors and entrepreneurs. It is a misnomer at this point, just because we help people all over the world. We're in talks right now to rebrand and change the name, because it's not just Kentucky anymore.
That's amazing. Well, I love what you're talking about as far as what the body does when you are connecting and building community with people. We are built and we were created for community, right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the research says, and I know Leo and Mike, you have lived this, but the research says that people who have good networks live longer, happier, healthier lives. So what's not
absolutely.
to get? Why would you not get involved with the Hounds of Business?
Yeah, that's exactly
if you
it.
look at the blue zones all over the world, there's 3 things. They eat a lot of diverse foods, and they have a really good community, and they have a really healthy, optimistic view of aging. Those are like the big 3.
Yeah, so true. So Mike, you love the country And you are just a down home boy. I love that about you. Give us a little more. Just give us a little more context about when you started building community and live streaming and all the things you started doing. Man, that's how I found you. I mean, I look for people that are active, and there you were on screen.
Yeah, yeah. Again, we've been told we're not good enough, right? We don't fit into places. I created the Hounds, which kind of in hindsight is redneck Camelot. It's just an idea that no one really saw, and it's not that other communities or people were bad. It's just I felt like an eagle living in the Arctic, right? There's eagles and there's penguins. I just don't have much in common with a flightless bird living in the Arctic. So I found that I was looking for something that really I haven't seen or really probably hadn't been created. What was shocking is other people, the caliber of good-hearted people going through life crap, trying to regain their confidence and assurance. I've heard it all. I became an impromptu dating coach. I did whatever it could to help these people and not pitch slap these folks. So I'll give you an example. In the early days, I helped people with whatever I could, all my life experience, all my tragedy, all the crap I went through. I see it has a purpose now, because now I'm able to hear people going through the same crap or similar crap. And I'm like Dr. Phil, like I'm not qualified for it, but I can listen to people. I can relate to people. I can empathize with people. And a lot of times, and the reason this is important is because a lot of times, most of the time, it's not a business problem or a marketing problem. We have an inner problem, a spiritual problem, an emotional issue that we haven't addressed. And that's where I think it shines. I mean, think about this. You have high-powered attorneys, make money, they're well-known, but they can't be themselves. They can't talk, and they have to keep a facade and an image and all of this stuff. And it's just nice to put your damn guard down, come out and be nice and just be surrounded by people. You can be yourself, and we want to be our best selves. So I think that's what makes us special. And that's why we have really high level, heart centered people, because we do. We want to put people first, but we also want to help ourselves at the same time. So all boats rise kind of mentality. It's hard to explain, but that's what we create. Like, and it's insane when you and other folks and Jason Wilson. I mean, it's affirming to me that this isn't just an idea. This is real. This is a movement that like no other. And so we will have millions of people within 3 years, and we'll have more impact. A business resource bank, bigger than anything you've seen in impact and meaning. I want to see more lives on. And here's this might be cheesy, but dadgummit, I own it. I'm cheese man. If a couple million people, good-hearted people like you and I and Leo and Scott, I have to think that if we weren't worried about time and money, if we had plenty of time and money, then we would be free to go out there and make a huge dent in food insecurity and all these major issues, homelessness, all these major impacts. So that's my motive. Hey, you're a good person. Let's help ignite you, get your business, get your life on order so you can have the time, money, and freedom to go out there and make amazing things happen. Because that's what I want to do yesterday. The next time we have an anthology, I'm just going to scholarship everybody. No one's going to know about it. That's what we're gearing up for, Russ.
Right.
We're not playing.
Well, and I love that because I've been able to be part of these amazing groups, these anthologies, and been able to do 4 in the last like 8 months. And what an amazing process in building amazing friendships and people that are devoted. When you talk like people like CJ and Susanna and Dr. New and some of these people that are out there, and Lonnie, there's some great people that really build community and hang in there with you. They're not just a flash in the pan. And I love that. And it depends on the people you're around. And I can't think of 2 more active people that I've met recently that are like have no ceiling as to what is possible. And that is CJ, Dr. Constance Leland, and you. I mean, I just want to hang out with you guys because you're doing so many amazing things. I figure I'm along for the ride, right? And so that's how I started this whole adventure with Mr. D. Scott Smith, right, Scott?
Yeah, we just had so much fun starting with one idea and pursuing it. That's how Befuddled came along. And Leo, I forget exactly how we met, but from the very beginning, it's just been this wonderful opportunity because we weren't trying to sell each other. Yeah, you're a great copywriter, exactly. and you didn't say, hey, Scott, I've looked at your stuff and let me help you out because, man.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that goes hand in hand actually with the evolutionary behavior aspect is the biggest predator of human beings is fellow human beings. And so we've really, really finely tuned our ability to detect sincerity and genuineness. It's one of the reasons why it's so frustrating when you are networking in business circles and somebody does come across as insincere, because it's the reason it's frustrating is it's like if they realized that, you know, just being themselves would benefit them more, they would turn off the BS immediately. But a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, no, that is so true. I mean, this whole discussion of authenticity and being the real you, right? And Mike, I tell you, you couldn't be the more real you if I just know that I walk in your door and you're the same guy that I'm talking to right now. And a lot of times I think people think, yeah, they're on screen, they're doing all this stuff, they're putting on this whole show, right? And people don't know that I'm really as crazy and wild and outgoing in personal life as I am right now.
I know it. I know it.
Yeah.
No,
So, but you know, I started this adventure that I am on currently with my business and you know, being an entrepreneur for myself and building community online and around the world, really because of D. Scott Smith. Scott and I were meeting for coffee right before COVID, and that is when he started saying things to me like pushing the limits for me. Scott's one of those guys that it's kind of like you, Mike. I got to say, whoa, hang on. I can't process all this at one time. Too much stuff. He's done, well, you know, you really need to be coaching people on the side. Start a side hustle because you're doing that already. And you should be speaking, doing that. You can do that. You're doing that already. And have you thought about writing a book? What about podcasting? What about, and I'm like, whoa, hang on. So I start the process to this whole thing. Then he says, Leo, why don't you come into the Global Tea Break? And I get in there like a month before on, I think, episode 2 or meeting number 2 with everybody. And he goes, we're going to be on this thing called Zoom. You know what that is? I'm like, I have no idea what Zoom is. What are you talking about? And the next month COVID hits. And what am I doing? I'm teaching everybody in my local community how to get on Zoom, Chambers, how to meet, how to network and do things, because I've learned this stuff. It's like God prepared the way for me to be able to do these things. And, you know, Leo, that's where I met amazing people like you. And, you know, I would never have met so many great people had it not been for that ability to create community online.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's almost surreal. During COVID, I also got a head start on Zoom, which was really helpful with the Inventor group, but it's shrunk the world. I've met so many people from all over and gotten to know so many people from all over. And I've met both of you in person, and there's this really weird, surreal moment where you meet someone you already know, because, you know, a few years ago, that wasn't even a thing. Like if you met somebody, you met somebody, but now we know so many people digitally, and there's just this bizarre moment when you finally actually encounter someone in the real world you've known a while.
So I have to say, Rocky Lavani, and he's got a great podcast. And so we were in this mastermind together, and I had been on his show. He'd been on our show. We just had Zoom together. We'd spent so much time together online that I was at a face-to-face meeting in Nashville. And here we are, there's 100 people in the room. And I look over and I go, oh, there's Rocky. And I just keep talking. Then I thought, oh, wait a minute. I have never met Rocky in person. But, you know, I was just like, oh, there he is. Okay.
It's bizarre. To me, it's like when you're a little kid and you go to a restaurant, you see your teacher and you're like, what are they doing out of school? It's
right.
just bizarre. It's like, aren't you guys just in Zoom all the time?
They don't actually eat, do they?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it is kind of this amazing thing. So my beautiful wife is an elementary school librarian. And so she teaches every kid in her school. And what is amazing is when they see her outside of school, it is that wonder and that excitement on their faces that I see. And it doesn't matter whether they're a current student at age 7 or if they're a past student at age 25, they still like light up and they're so excited. Miss Hedge is here. Miss Hedge is here. And so I can attest to that because I have been blessed to meet so many amazing people that I did not start with in person. one of which is Michael Holt, who's in the comments here. He's not that far from me. He's up in Vancouver, so maybe an hour away. But we had met virtually and online and texting and talking on the phone. We finally got together and met. He's an amazing friend. I just met Devin James Stinson here in Portland, who's not that far away either. He was introduced to me by Dr. Nupi Aurora, my little sis, Nupi over in Manchester, England. She introduced me to a guy in Portland, Oregon, who's an hour away from me. And that was just amazing. So, Mike, I know you found that so many cross paths, right, with different people. It gets to be amazing.
Well, if I may, look, when Leo said it, yeah, we got to stop saying in real life, like online and in real life. We got to say on and offline, because I have met people, that I've talked to daily in real life. And man, it was weird, Russ. You know how it is. It's like we knew each other in person the whole time.
Mhm.
There was no weirdness, none of this. Who are you? I mean, it was amazing. And because I think a lot of that is because even though we're not physically present, I live in a very modest working class neighborhood. That's who I am, right? But I don't talk about changing the world a lot because it's just not a thing that we talk about. I mean, I'm very different. So I can connect with people that want to rise above and do crazy, amazing things with huge impact online that I can't do in person or I can't do in my locality, right? So it's not that I disregard the locality. I'm just like, hey, I'd rather be on here because it wasn't easy. I hated this in the beginning, right? Russ, we're all like people.
Right.
But the good outweighs the challenge for me. And then number two, I love hearing about you guys and you and Scott, because that's like me and CJ. Dr. CJ Constance Leland, Level Up Academy. When she came to the Hounds, remember when they put PB and J in the same jar and you didn't have to refrigerate it? That's exactly what the heck it was, man. And it was an explosion. We're doing good at long, but the combination's like a thunderstorm of positive, man. And that's like, I feel everything you guys are saying. And last little thing, on another note, when we talk about pushing people up, that's before the strategy and the business know-how. I had a lady, forgive me here, guys, I'm crude, but I had somebody the other day, like a while back, come to me and they said, I'm very introverted. They said, I need to be more extroverted. And here's my comment. I said, what well-intentioned, extroverted A-hat told you to be extroverted? And when that comment came out, you saw the relief on their face, because what was being said is they're telling a dog to meow, right? And that's just hard to do. And we went through this.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, the end result was this person internalized that, showed up 2 days later and nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. They did better than me. And it wasn't that they couldn't. It wasn't the skill set. It was somebody saying, you're okay as is. Lean into it. Daggum, that's what we all stand for. Am I wrong?
I love it.
Absolutely.
Because I tell people, so I teach networking, right? So here we go, business networking and networking for students. Little plugs there. But here's the deal: is just that being a good networker does not require you to be an extrovert, and is not limited by being an introvert, right? And just jumping back to this whole online and in-person deal. Back in 2016, and this is where a lot of this stuff for me started, was I was a speaker at the Social Media Summit in Dublin, Ireland, and these were deep knowledge people. Steve Dotto on YouTube, and we had Brian Fanzo and Ted Rubin. And man, it was Snapchat for business and Facebook ads and all this great stuff. My topic was broader. It was the psychology and physiology of relationships. And what I did is I looked at the academic research, and we proved that the relationships that you create digitally can be just as strong as those that you create face to face. And Leo, when we get together and we shake hands or we embrace, that does release oxytocin, right? Which is the trust molecule. And I will tell you that when we're doing live video like this, so if you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, you obviously, when you're doing it digitally, you cannot shake their hand. You cannot hug them. However, if you look into the camera, it simulates eye contact. And eye contact also releases oxytocin. So you want to connect to somebody, look them in the eye.
Yeah. No, I completely, that is so good, Scott. And I got to make one last comment and be the responsible host because we have run out of time.
You are
But
responsible.
I want to say that in my experience meeting with people, and Scott is exactly right, because when you live it, Mike and Leo, you know it, right? When you meet somebody for the first time, almost every person I've met in the first time, after knowing them and being amazing friends online, grabs me and squeezes me so hard I can barely breathe. And I'm a big hugger. But the thing is it's just like you're so you can't believe that you're actually there. When I went back to Tim Sohn's Perspectives on Cancer conference last year in person, I met so many amazing people, including Tim for the first time that I had not known. When Bruce Carnahan and David Alto and so many friends, Devin came to visit me here in Salem, it was just amazing. These people that I'd known so well, but I had never actually
Mhm.
met offline. Mike, there you go. I knew him amazingly online, but it's true. You can build these great, amazing relationships. So with that, we're going to let you two both take the last word here and give us your gold nugget, what you really want people to remember from today's show. And then how do people get in touch with you? And Leo, we're going to start with you. Go for it.
I think you guys all nailed it. It's all about connecting with people. It's about reaching out, being sincere. I mean, that's really it. When I had a transactional view of business, it didn't work. And when I started just helping people and connecting people for the sake of helping and connecting, all of a sudden it started working. That's what it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. And Leo, how do people get in touch with you?
I live on LinkedIn. Links in the chat, but I think I'm pretty much the only Leo York on LinkedIn, at least the only one that looks like this. So
The beard gives it away. Definitely, for
Yep.
sure. That is so good. So good. All right. Thanks, Leo. Mike, you're up.
Hey, courage before confidence. That's my mantra. That's the baby step to take. Hey, nothing's wrong with you. You've been told a lie and you're believing the negative tapes, right? There's nothing wrong. You just don't know what you don't know. Maybe you don't have the support. You're not around the right people that can inspire you, and that's the hounds, man. Heart-centered, high-level professionals. And again, I teach sales and marketing. I center that around LinkedIn because I don't want people wasting money and time anymore. I'm a relationship broker. I have hundreds of top-level people, so I'm tired of seeing bald people buying haircuts all over social media. My job is to connect. If you got a problem and you're ready to move forward, let's make sure that you get the right people in place. People who want to serve you, who will tell you, no, you're not for me, who will do you right. That's what separates us. So join a pack, get in there, stop doing it alone. All right. And by the way, other communities, man, we're friends of the pack, right? We want to help you too, man. We're not a prison. We're not a daggum cult. We don't lock the door from the outside. We play nice with heart-centered communities and folks. So, hey, reach out to me, DM me. All boats, man, we're going to rise together. It's not cheesy. It's profitable and it's unbelievable. Hey, can't get enough. I want more Russ Hedge and Scott and Leo's yesterday. That's my calling card. And you can find me on LinkedIn, in a tree in Louisville, and Carrier Pigeon, YouTube, redneckfinancialcoach.com. There you go.
So good. And all that information has been magically appearing at the bottom of the screen, as well as in the comments, show notes. It's all there for you guys. It's clickable. You go directly to Mike or Leo. We highly, highly, highly recommend you do that. Connect. And with people in the comments, connect with each other. This is such an amazing community, and so thankful for all of you, not just the hounds, because like Mike said, we rise together. We make each other better. The hounds is a catalyst. The global tea break is a catalyst to make great things happen together. Both of those organizations. And Mike, if you've never been to the Global Tea Break, you've got to come visit every third Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It is an amazing community. And both of those, if people reach out to Mike about the hounds, man, I'm telling you, there's amazing things happening. There's a bullet train moving, right, Scott? And we need to jump on.
Absolutely. Just as we say, this is the absolutely greatest time ever to be alive. And the only limitation is your willingness to participate. Reach out to the hounds, reach out to Mike, reach out to Leo, connect with them. And I truly believe one conversation can change your life or your business.
For sure, for sure. And with that, we're wrapping things up for today. We're so thankful that you're all here. Don't forget, we have a new landing page for you guys, local.theexperience.video, which has all of Scott's and my information on it will take you into everything, including our new show, The Experience Local, Live with Russ and Scott. That airs every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on live stream, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you're in the Willamette Valley, it's on local radio at 6 p.m. on Mondays on KWIL 790 a.m. So we're so happy to be involved with them as well. Also, straight to our YouTube page at theexperience.video. Would love for you to subscribe today, be part of that. Don't forget that we're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure, as well as this converts to audio podcast. You can listen anytime you want. Listen wherever you're walking, you're driving, and this sits on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube for infinity and beyond. That's right. You can watch it anytime you want to. You still can share it. Anybody watching anytime. So there you go. And with that, I think we're going to wrap things up. Scott, do you have any last words for the day?
Yeah, I'm just happy to spend time with you, with Mike and Leo today. And thank you for everybody that's been in the comments. Even those who didn't make comments, who are lurking in there, we appreciate you deeply.
Yes, we do. And today I'm going to shake things up a little bit and give you one more happiness as we all go out together. Have an amazing day, an amazing life. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.